up, beautiful people? Welcome to the Nene Show. I pray everyone's doing well. Keep Yahweh first. It's the Nene Show, and I'm here to help my people. Knowledge is power, so hit some tools to help you grow. Mentally and physically, a spiritual thing that making change to our life. Now that's a beautiful thing. As we sit here and talk about the issues that affect us, the change by electing the right people, changing the law. But first, we must do three things: inspire, uplift, and empower each other. What you don't know can ultimately hurt you. Let's change the way we think, change the way we eat. Because at the end of the day, I want us all to win and live in purpose. Let's go. Welcome back. What up, everybody? It's Monday, and your girl, Nene Adam, is in the building. And I'm so glad that you guys are joining me today. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook and on YouTube. Today in Maryland, obviously, it's cold, it's icy, it's snowing, all type of good stuff. But this is good cuddling weather and good comfortable weather. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. Also, I cannot wait. And I'm so excited to have the beautiful Andrea Jones that's going to be on the show today to talk to us, which is an important topic, especially with mothers, those that have lost a child, either through birth or just throughout life. Just talking about how we can heal as angel parents and, just form a community. And that's what I'm big on. And just letting women know that we are here with them. We hear their cry, we hear their hurt. And, that their child is in a better place, obviously, and that we're just going to love on each other while we're here. So I can't wait to have her on. But I also want to say in the prayer, I'm going to do a 24-second silence for all the victims that were lost last year, the Bryant family and some of the teammates that were on there, the pilot. I want to make sure that we uplift them and those families and anyone that's still grieving in a heavy heart. I woke up this morning, I still kind of felt like it was unreal. Like, Kobe Bryant, to me, I wasn't like a big fan growing up. My fan, AI all day, Jason Kidd, Magic Johnson, like those are the players that I grew up on. And Kobe, I respected his game. Any great player understands when you see another great player, all you can do is respect their game. And that's what I did. And I learned a lot from him. And then even especially when he passed away, I started reading his books and looking at his documentary. The man was very knowledgeable on and off the court. And I have so much respect for him. And now I'm able looking at his footage and able putting some of those in my game. So I want to make sure I pray for them and everyone that is still having a heavy heart. So pray with me. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you right now, God, and I just thank you for just another day. God, right now, as we are having some grieving hearts, those that are still mourning the loss of loved ones, we just pray that you will give us a spirit of strength and love, that we'll be able to push through and persevere through any of those challenges, God, that we face on a regular basis. Right now, are we just experiencing loss just from last year, but just from the whole pandemic, God. We just pray that you would just keep us safe, protected, loved. We just need your voice right now. We just need your healing power right now, God. And I just want to uplift also those that are watching, the mothers, the parents that are subjected to, miscarriage, losing their children. God, I just pray that you will be with them and surround them with your angels and surround them by good people that can get them along this journey. And this is not easy. It's not easy, but I pray that you will give us an open mind to be able to step out on faith and step forward and be encouraged. I pray for our speaker and our guest today, Andrea, that she will just come with all her energy and all her love and just be able to share her experience and to help someone else and let her be her testimony and to help someone else through their journey. So I pray and I ask you for all this in your precious name. So before I say amen, I want to have a 24-second of silence for all those victims that were lost. Amen. Amen. So, guys, a lot of you know this year, 2021, I decided that I was going to read a book once a month. So, my book for January, and I already finished it. I read the book A Damaged Woman. This is by Sunny Connor. This is a sequel. The first book was Damaged Little Girl. So to finish it off with this book is hands down, I got to give it 5 stars. It really just talks about a woman. She's from Baltimore, Maryland. So shout out to B More, about her life and how she wrote everything down and was able to experience so much trauma and still be the woman that she is today and raising 2 beautiful children. And I definitely think you guys should go ahead and check it out, especially for my young women who are still going through a lot, especially in Baltimore City, you know, the in and outs from the school systems to losing loved ones on a regular basis by gun violence to drugs. This book really, really is powerful and is phenomenal. Definitely check this out. It's A Damaged Woman by Sunny Connor. So when you get a chance, go check this book. It's already on Amazon. It's on Walmart. It's on YouTube or whatever, not YouTube, but it's all over the place. So make sure you guys go ahead and check it out. I'm so excited and honored that this was my first book of the month and I have more to come. So definitely check that part out. I also have a few more announcements that I'm going to give before we get Andrea on. I want to talk to you guys about Kingdom Fellowship AME Church is offering a financial peace university training. All classes will be virtual. Let me go ahead and put it up here so you guys can check it out. All classes will be virtual. You can learn how to handle stress, how to dump debt, and build wealth. They have proven history of helping those in their first 2 sessions. So definitely go and check the website out. I just want to let you know if anyone or if you're looking for a financial release program, please visit the site below. If you are a member of Kingdom Fellowship, it is $50. If you are a non-member, it is $89. And it's 1 per household. Classes begin February 1st and it goes for 8 weeks. So if you're looking for financial release, make sure you go check that out. Kingdom Fellowship, great way to go ahead and cut back, especially if that's your goal for the new year on making some financial moves. Okay. Also, I want to bring up Full Blends. I actually tried this program back in December. So with it, this is a Black-owned, operated manufacturer of alkaline herb tea blends and supplements to heal the mind and body. So like I said, I started this back in December. This was a journey that I wanted to take for myself and just detox the body. And so while I did that, I had an Upful Remembrance package. So I started weighing in at 166 and I noticed a significant difference already. So my bowel movement, like literally after I would eat something, I was ready to go to the bathroom, which was not common in the beginning. So that was kind of good that I noticed. My energy level throughout the day was so much better. I didn't feel lethargic, at least after eating meals. So it's something that I noticed. And working out, the duration seemed to increase. So I had way more energy during my workouts. Shortly right after that, I also did a 3-day detox with smoothies. And so at the end of all of that, about 45 days, I end up weighing in at 157. So I lost 9 pounds. So I'm solid. I'm still solid, y'all. Still big in here. But it was a great to experience that. And I just want to make sure and I encourage someone who was trying to lose weight, do it the healthy way, take some herb teas, and also do some detox smoothies. I think it's great to have. So without further ado, I'm going to go to have Andrea come on, and we're going to talk to her, and we're going to talk about these angel parents. What up, sis?
Hello.
Hear me? I can hear
Yes,
you.
I can hear you loud and clear, per
That's
usual.
good. That's good. Look, I already prayed. I said she better bring that energy today.
I was like, no, don't call me out. Don't call me
Bring
out of my
that,
energy.
bring that energy. I need to have that energy because every time we get together, we connect up. We always have a good time. It's always a good
No, you look at me crazy.
vibe.
Don't lie to these people.
I
You
really,
look at me like you got to be so sane, so normal. So, no. Now I'm going to come on here sane and normal in your area.
yo, that's wild. That's wild. No, I'm glad that you're able to make it. I know we had our talks, and I reached out to you, and it was crazy how I found out that you were an author. I didn't know until I saw it on Facebook, and I was like, "What? Big Sarge? Okay." You
Somebody else said that. It was like, so you wrote a whole book? Tell nobody? I was like, my bad.
Right, like you don't. Yeah, and that's what I love about you. It's not like you put that on a forefront. You just do what you do, and you love on
Hmm.
people. You like to make people laugh, and I just appreciate that about you. But I knew when I saw the book, it's crazy because I had a friend that was just going through that. So, God connected me in that aspect. I saw it on your page, and I was like, oh, I gotta get this book. and it just meant a lot for her, and it meant a lot for me just to be able to do that. So I thank you for that. I really do.
Thanks, Mom.
So sweet. But I want the people to know who you are. We're just gonna touch bases a little bit about, a little bit about your background, where you work, a little bit about your nonprofit, a little something that people wouldn't know too much about you, and then we can go ahead and just have this conversation.
I don't think that you even know that I don't like talking about myself. But since we're here, so what you say? Where I work at? I work at a middle school. I also participate in soldier games every so often in the National Guard.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a nonprofit, Live to Inspire, in which typically our focus is middle school and high school boys and that transition and workforce development, um, youth development, job opportunities, career development, self esteem, building. Um, yeah, that's typically what we do. During COVID, the focus has just been expanding what my grandfather's community outreach was, his food outreach, or food ministry rather, and just expanding that and just pushing it further in the city and in the county. I don't think he expected me to go into the county, but the city and the county, and just expanding that so that people who are in need of assistance, at least with their food and their groceries, we're able to bring that in the community and they can come pick them up for free. Um, and that's it. Like my nonprofit, I think the biggest, not really the biggest, but one of the my most pride and joys for the nonprofit so far, which is Live to Inspire, is actually our Prince Project, which I love Prince Project. Like I that is my baby. I don't let nobody take it away from me. They can't have it. Um, so Prince Project is basically where we sponsor young men, at least 4 to 6 young men every school year with their attire for their junior or their senior prom. We purchase everything brand new. We don't go buy their suits for them. They actually come and pick out their suits. It is within a budget constraint. Typically, the store that we work with, Paris Apparel, in Baltimore City, which is a black-owned tailor and store, they typically work with our budget for the young men. They get everything from their suits to their shoes and belts and alterations. And if they need haircuts, if they need assistance with senior farewell attire or prom tickets or graduation cap and gowns, we try to make sure that we build that bridge for
Yeah.
whatever barriers may stand in the way of them enjoying that commemorative experience of their junior or senior year. So that's what we do. There are requirements, like they have to have some community service hours. There's a certain number. We're not going to get into that,
Right.
but they have to have already completed some of their community service hours, and they have to do an essay. The essay is not about. I'm a really big stickler on the essay not being like, why do you think that we should choose you? I don't want it to be a battle of the stories. I
Yeah.
just want to know that you took the effort to write on what my essay topic is. And some don't. They just write why I should pick them, and that's not what the topic is. Um, so that and community service. Typically, a lot of guidance counselors actually refer them to us, and that's how we know who's actually in need, who could use the assistance. So the boys are normally amazing. We've we've helped from city to county, and they get to keep everything that's purchased for them because the suits are tailored to them. So what am I going to do with the suit afterwards? Um, so yeah, that's my pride and joy
You're
is the
proud.
Prince Project, and some of the young people they still call me. They still send me cash app requests and everything.
Oh, that's what you need. You gonna put your cash app out there?
No ma'am,
Information.
no ma'am, no
So,
ma'am. Do not send me a cash app request. I look at my phone like, I'm sorry, you want to text me good morning or
well, definitely not when you do that again. I don't know if they're gonna do it this year because of everything with the pandemic. We got to see. We're gonna pray on it. I pray because last year they didn't have a prom
mm-mm.
or anything. I
And
can only.
I actually was trying to figure out how I could still, because I'm really into creating experiences and planning events. So I was really trying to figure out how to create some sort of a virtual, socially distant prom. Like I couldn't, my brain couldn't get it together. Maybe I'll get it together this year if they don't have one. This is my sister's senior year, so we're
Uh,
hoping she gets
well, we
something.
I don't care if it's outdoors. It's gonna be nice and warm.
We're gonna have it at the fifth,
Yeah, we get some DJs. Yeah,
and it'll be
make
sectioned
it
off.
right.
It'll be
10
sectioned off on the drill
per,
floor,
10 per. No, we gonna definitely make it happen.
here, your band is purple. You stay over there.
Stay over there.
Yellow, you stay over. Y'all can
Yo,
rotate DJ rooms after it's sanitized. Like what?
yo, it's gonna be crazy, but we'll make it happen. Um, let's go right into it. As far as like some of the mothers that are out there, I want to talk about your experience. I didn't know some of the things that you went through, and I think it's good to kind of talk about those things because some people that are already going through it themselves and just
Hmm.
hear it. So let's talk about your experience, the first time you encountered miscarriage, and how that experience was, and did you have someone to talk to during that time?
So let's be very clear. The very first miscarriage. So I will be very clear. I've had four.
Mhm.
Um, the first one. Every time I talk about this, I really have to think back. Like the first one, like the first one, I was in shock. Well, I was more in shock that I was pregnant, not that I was doing it, because I knew that I was doing it. I just didn't know that I was gonna get pregnant from doing it. So besides the point.
Right,
But so the very first time that I miscarried, I was shocked. Like I was stuck. I did not talk about it. I didn't really talk about it at all in the least bit.
right.
I shut down and joined the military.
Got you.
I like ran away from it. Like I went to basic. I know,
Okay.
like when I say I ran away from it, um, I I was already like on the fence about joining the military because I wanted it for the military. I mean, the education benefits, and then I was already in college, so I was like, oh, I got almost a full ride. Like I don't need to go now. So I'm still on the fence about it, but I'd already taken my ASVAB.
Mhm.
So when that happened, a couple months later, I was in the recruiter's office. May 5th, I was swearing in. May 27th, I was going to basic. Like I was like, I'm out of here. Like I felt like I had to run from it, and I
Yeah.
just needed to do something to mask whatever I was trying to suppress.
Mhm.
So I can't say that I didn't have anyone to talk to. I just chose not to talk. I don't think that I really I don't think that I really learned how to vocalize my feelings and emotions until recent,
Yeah.
like until recent years. I was about 19 then. So like I couldn't even really process what happened. I just knew that it was like, oh, I'm pregnant one day, not the next. Um I did have a DNC, so I actually had the procedure to go in for them to go and actually remove the fetus, and um so I wasn't attached.
Got you.
So I wasn't it kind of happened quickly. I miscarried. All of my miscarriages have been in the first trimester and within the first 8 weeks. So by the time I've come to terms with the pregnancy, I'm miscarrying.
Mm.
So I don't have the emotional attachment that a lot of people may have. Um, but we'll talk about that later. That's I learned that last year in therapy.
And then got you. Got you. So do you think that first experience was any different than the last? Because you said you had four.
Hell, heck yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was
Okay.
real different. It was real different. So the first one was a procedure.
Hmm.
Like it was the first one is like, I don't play basketball, but I'm gonna act like I do. So the first one is like when you make your first layup, your very first layup. You're like, oh snap, okay. And then you have, four more that game. You like shocked again. Okay, I really did that. How many points I did? Okay. So it's like the first time it was like, oh, I'm proud of myself. Like I made it through this one. Then the last one was like a big shock. It was just like whoa, that was nothing like the very first one.
Yeah.
The first one was a procedure. The second one was, I mean, the fourth one was not. The fourth one was, it happened naturally and it happened quickly, um, and painfully. And to me, I describe it as publicly because I was out and about when it started to happen.
Right.
So I had to like stop what I was doing, go to the bathroom, address it, mask it to get in the car, to get to the hospital. Like I had to do all of that. Whereas the first time that wasn't the case. Like it was just like, okay, we're planning this procedure.
Yeah.
That was it.
So
So it was definitely
what was the
different.
surgery needed for the first one?
My body wasn't miscarrying on its
It
own.
wasn't. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got you.
And that happens often. It happens often to a lot of women. Like your body doesn't miscarry. It is typically a quick procedure. You be high as a kite. But it's a quick procedure. I was high as a kite. I didn't like that. I was like, whoa, what is this? I want my mother so bad. Like I don't know what's going on.
Jeez. So during that time, that traumatic time, what got you through that? Like I know you said you immediately went to basic training, right?
Oh, the first time?
Yeah, the first time you went through basic training, but then throughout those times, I remember you mentioned you went to therapy. So
I didn't go to therapy till recently.
So what's some of the things that you did to get you through those times, those hard times?
Stay busy.
Yeah.
And I speak about that in my book. It's like how we often jump into something else to keep our mind off of it instead of actually addressing it. And we do that for anything. We do that in everyday life. Like sometimes we don't even want to do the work that we have for work. So we just like, we working virtually. I'm like, you know what? The kitchen looks like it needs cleaning. Let me go. Let me go do this. So I just did whatever I could. I feel like I did whatever I could to stay busy in order to not focus on it. And again, I didn't even process what was happening. I didn't speak to anyone. No one in my family spoke to me about it that had experienced it. So it wasn't like as if I had a support system that I could call my family or a family member or any friends at the time that have experienced it. So I'm one of my very few. I probably have one other friend, like in my very close circle, that's experienced a miscarriage. So, and I experienced 3 by the time they experienced their 1. So for me, it's been like I'm just the go-to person for everybody. Everybody be like, hey, let me jump in her inbox and talk to her, which is fine because I didn't feel like I had that before. I didn't have and as I've gotten older and I speak more to the topic, I've learned more family members have experienced it. They just never. They probably masked theirs as well, and it just wasn't a topic that they were comfortable speaking about. And not everyone is. So I think that would have helped me throughout the process if I had someone to talk to, or at least talk to me at that point, because I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to make of it. By the time I had the third one, I was tired. I was done. Like I was just like, oh, I'm not having no kids. Just God ain't just. He just don't want me to have no kids. That's what that is. He didn't say that then. Why he just called me and say that?
And
He want to tell me everything else. He could have sent me to in prayer. I be sitting there talking to him and he ain't talking back. He could have told me like, listen, sis, this is not for you. But like I think that would have helped me through is if I had someone to speak to or someone in my circle or family was willing to just talk to me.
Yeah.
But no one really did that. Like no one really, and it's crazy. I've never even thought about that until now. Like nobody in my family reached out and was like, "Hey, do you want to talk about it?"
But they knew. Mm-mm. But they knew about
they
it.
Knew.
Okay.
Oh, they knew.
You know. Let's.
But like because I was also young, like I still had that group of family that was like, "Oh, you just get an abortion because you're in school, you got all this going on, you don't need no baby." So that also probably didn't like play the part in them not. It was probably a guilty thing for them, like cause that baby get an abortion and she miscarried. Like, there's probably some guilt there too. So that's how I got through it. I didn't say nothing.
Staying busy, and that's what a lot of us do too. I mean, I know I do that for myself personally. I go through something and I just, all right, I gotta go do something. I gotta do work, or I gotta go play ball, or I gotta do something just to get my mind.
Yeah, I be having to go play ball too.
Yeah,
Whatever makes it
you know, hoop on the regular. We still gotta do our little one-on-one matchup. And one thing I liked about your website, you talked about a 30 things to do before you turn 30. So you in the 30
Mm-hmm.
club. We the same age. I mean, it is what it is.
You're older.
What inspired you? Don't do that. Don't do that. Not today. What inspired you to want to do this? Because I mean, I know a lot of people do a lot of that. You know, they do 50 things to turn their 50. But what inspired you to do your? Yeah, we ain't there yet. What inspired you to do the 30 before 30, and then actually look back to wanting to do research on your miscarriages?
So I think I wanted to do the 30 before 30 because it was trending. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I'm not even gonna hold you. I think I did it because it was like, oh, it's trendy. Let me do 30 before 30. Ooh. And one of the things that for me was that I've always, and I talk about it on my website. Like I always wanted twins. Like I've always twins run in my family. They all over the place, except in the generation with my cousins. Like we still like who finna have these twins?
Who had these twins?
Because it ain't none of y'all little fast ones had none yet. Even the twin cousins haven't had twins yet. So we trying to figure out who finna have them, and it ain't that many of us. So somebody gonna get it. So like for me, I always wanted to know if I miscarried or if I let's back up. So the second pregnancy, the guy I was dealing with, he wanted me to get an abortion. I didn't want to get an abortion, but with the way our communication went, I felt like I needed to get an abortion because I was gonna kill him. I was gonna kill him, the other mothers of the kids. Like it was just a toxic situation. Like, bro, you know how we got here? It wasn't planned, um, by no means. But when we had a oops moment, oops, we both here, and we're both adults. So, um, he was very adamant on me getting an abortion, and I wasn't. So I chose to get an abortion. I went to the clinic. First of all, I was so dumb. I didn't even lie to you. I was so dumb. I didn't know when I got an abortion I needed somebody to drive me home. I didn't know. I didn't know. And it was so impulsive. Like I planned it, like I scheduled it, and I canceled it. And I scheduled it. And I mean, this is within 24 hours of the appointment. Like I called, canceled, rescheduled it for the same time. They probably both sick of me.
You're right.
And even that morning, I canceled and rescheduled and canceled and rescheduled. And I was like, I forget it. Like we got into like one last argument. And I was like, I'm going. I went, got it done. And I used to always tell my friends like it didn't sit well with me. So for the 30 before 30, I was like, well, let me get those medical records.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just get them. I don't like the clinic. To this day, my nice little Google review is on there, helping a lot of women to not choose that clinic. Yeah, and it took a long time. Like I didn't write it until a year or so ago, and this happened 2010. So it took me like 9-10 years before I wrote it. I don't care. I just said what I said. But fast forward to the 30 for 30, I'm like, I want to get those records. So I got those records. I lied to you not. Them records, they called me and said the records were there. I had them records stayed there for months before I picked them up. Cause I was like, bro, I don't want these records. I don't know why the hell I asked for these records. I don't want these records. I don't want to see what this is. What if it's really twins that was in there? Would they have told me? Like, would they have told me if it was twins? Would they have said anything? Like, I didn't know this process. Again, it goes back to us not communicating. Like, nobody in my family who I now know have had an abortion ever said anything to me about it. And got the records. You ever read something and you're like, hold on.
It just don't look
like it don't look right, but then you like, I think that I read what I read, but I'm not really sure. So I literally looked at these 3-4 sheets of paper, and to this day they're still in my car. I have not taken them out of my car in almost the 2 years that I've had them. So I looked at the paper over and over and over for me to really. I'm not no doctor. No, biology wasn't my thing. I didn't dissect anything. Anatomy and physiology wasn't my thing. So I really wasn't quite sure if I was reading what I thought I was reading.
right.
I went to school for hospitality. Okay. not this. So I'm reading it and I'm like, okay, but I'm not slow. So I called the clinic. I said, hey, little lady, little girl, I'm gonna read to you what this paper says, and I want you to make it make sense to me. So the paper said that at the time of the procedure of the abortion, that I should have been 8 weeks and a day, I think, or a day or two. And it said I was measuring at 5 weeks and 3 days.
Mm.
Um, it has like 3 check boxes for like a heartbeat, a stat, and something else. There was no heartbeat when I came in for the abortion. There, like the sac was there, and whatever the other thing was, I cannot remember what it was. I don't think that box was checked either. So I called her. I said, "So I'm reading to you, the girl. Explain it. You tell me if what I'm reading to you sounds like I got an abortion."
Yeah.
Because it also has a picture of the sonogram. Ain't jack squat in this sack, but this was just as the jelly bean in the ultrasound and the sonogram. That's it. So I said, this looks, it reads as if I had a miscarriage. If I'm supposed to be 8 weeks, but this say I'm 5 weeks and 3 days, ain't no heartbeat. How I have an abortion?
I like it. You know what's so funny is that's so interesting from the book that I read, Damaged Woman. She ended up going through something similar as you, but she had an abortion as well after having 2 kids. Just going through a lot of those experiences, and she had a lot of pride though, as she talked about through her book, and that's why she didn't want to communicate those things to other people. But your stories are very similar in that aspect. She felt those emotions by going through her abortion and giving away her child. She did feel like she was letting God down in that aspect. So I like that part. And one thing that you guys share similarities in as well is the simple fact that you used your test to become your testimony and share it with other people, because that's what she talked about in the book. All the experiences she went through, she ended up writing about it. You did the same thing. So let's talk about that book in particular, because I want people to go out and get the book, read it themselves. So like I said, you made your test into your testimony. In your book, you created a reflective and interactive journal for angel parents. You see, I got my shirt. I meant to show you that.
Oh, let me see.
Why? Let's heal. Aww. I got this done yesterday. So the journals for angel parents, why did you think this was necessary for them, or just for anyone in general?
So I look at me looking like I'm sitting on the couch. Ooh, Chad, this therapy all over. So I felt it was necessary because, one, I spoke on topics that weren't about the physical aspect of losing a child. I didn't reflect on, because everybody's experience is different. Let's be very clear. I've spoken to a lot of different men and women at this point, and everyone's experience has been different. No one's experience has been the same. So to speak on the physical aspect could be triggering, where I wanted to speak on the other emotional attachments that we may have. So I spoke on things such as, one of the topics is, what did you do with some of the things that you purchased for the baby? There are a lot of women there are too many women that have stillborns. And so you go to the hospital with your bag, with your diaper bag and your overnight bag and your go bag and your car seat in the car, and you leave the hospital without a baby.
Yeah.
Triggering. I got in the car, you know what I mean? Like, they get in the car and the car seat's still there and they know they're going, but they ain't got no baby. It's triggering. So what did you do with those items for your child? And even I spoke to a young lady whose brother had passed away, and she was like, this book helped us because that was a thing that for my mother was like, okay, now that my brother is gone, what do we do with his things?
Yeah.
So for me, it was just creating an opportunity to touch on topics that we don't always talk about. We don't always think about things like that and how it's triggering. So I also give an opportunity to chart what your triggers are and how you cope with them. Because it's important to recognize what your triggers are. for some people, triggers are baby showers. Baby showers aren't necessarily triggering for me. Now, certain people's baby showers may be triggering for me, but not everybody's baby shower. So
Right.
Giving an opportunity for your partner to reflect and write something to you, because there's typically a disconnect after a loss, because we grieve differently. So it's giving your partner an opportunity to write something, because we don't always articulate how we feel vocally. So sometimes it's like, let me write it down. Let me write this down. So giving your partner an opportunity to write a letter to you, and for you to write a letter to your partner expressing how you feel about your loss or you all's loss, and how you want to support each other, or how you really feel, and all of those things were critical, other than just the physical loss. Your mental health after a loss is so critical that we oftentimes forget to check on those things. Like, people think, like, once the physical part is done, like the miscarriage is done. Like, yeah, the physical part is done, but oh baby, like my body is still processing all of this. And some women still have symptoms months to years later after their miscarriage. So for me, creating the journal was important to just touch on those other topics other than the physical loss.
Right.
All of that is a part of grief.
Wow, that's deep. I like that one. I mean, a lot of people have shown really positive reviews for it, and really been like, this really has helped me. You've heard testimonies. I've gotten some back, and I just want everyone to know, like, where they can catch it. Here's the website. Make sure you go ahead and check that out down below. Can you see it on your end?
I do. That's so fancy. You have to give me one of those fancy screens.
I gotta get this for you. So make sure you guys check this website, and you can go ahead and get the book yourself. You can also read about Andrea and her bio, also the things that she's doing in the community. I'll put this back up again, and we can talk about it. But I know that you have a big passion for the youth, right? You represent Baltimore. You represent Baltimore City or the county? Just Baltimore in general.
Baltimore City, beloved.
Okay, Baltimore City. Okay, ain't nothing wrong with the county. So you represent Baltimore City, and I know you have a passion for the youth. Can you talk about some of the things? I say it all the time. A lot of people don't maybe not follow you on Facebook, but I know you're constantly out in the community. You're constantly feeding people. You're constantly helping, like we talked about earlier with, like, prom setup. Talk a little bit about your involvement out there, and how you're trying to make a difference in your community. And I don't know if you want to drop some other things, what you're thinking about doing in the future. I know we've talked about it, but you are more than welcome to share that information as well.
So I'm gonna keep that one between you and me. But my part of my passion for youth and young people is that some of them are at a disadvantage. And some are at a disadvantage because of no fault to their own. They were just given a bad hand.
Yeah.
I find it frustrating and disheartening and upsetting that we have so many young people who are in need of someone who just cares. I work at a middle school. It's probably not the most praised thing, because I was told to not do it. Not necessarily to not do it. I was suggested to not be so touchy, I guess, with the young people. But I've always recognized, when I go to the school and when we're in the building, kids can't talk to me until they give me a hug.
Yeah.
To the average person, that sounds really creepy. But to somebody who works in the school or works with young people, understand that there are a lot of kids who are not even getting a hug at home, or not getting attention at home. So that one hug from me at the first start of their day may set the tone for the day.
Yeah.
It calms us as adults. Like you said when you first started the show today, like, this is color weather. Like, that's calming for us. So what makes you think that won't do the same thing to a young child? Now, I'm not saying that I don't work with middle schoolers and you never know what hormones going, but they've never been disrespectful. They always knew that you get the church hug or something.
Yeah,
but you're getting some type of embrace from me to let you know that I'm here in the moment with you, whatever you're going through. If you come in the building with something, before you go home, like, make sure I need to see your face. Like, some of them, I need to see their face before they leave, because we really don't know what they're going home to. Their safe space is at school for some of them. So to know that we have so many young people who could use a hug right now, that we have the number of young people who are talking about suicide is increasing daily because of virtual learning, because they have no outlet. They came to school, most of them came to school because it was an outlet. It was a social hour for most of them, unfortunately. Unfortunately for my teachers, it was a social hour for the kids. But they're not getting that outlet, and so they're struggling and they don't know how to cope, and some of the parents don't know how to assist, and you can only do with so much when it's still over the phone or on the computer. So my concern is has been, how do we help them? Like, how do we help them? We guide them, we shape them, we mold them, but we also touch the parents, because it has to be a two-touch and wraparound approach. Like, we have to have the approach that it can't just be, all right, we did our part at the school, we did our part at the community, we did our part as a community center, a church, or what have you, and then we don't touch the parents. So all of that work is for nothing if it stops with us, and the next day you got to try to pick it back up, but you're not picking it back up. You're starting all over because they didn't got home and then it's gone.
Yeah.
And for me, it's making sure that we have the complete wraparound approach, and we touch the lives of our parents and our young people, so that it's a whole. It's a one big whole.
It's almost like it takes a village. Like, I've been big on that. Like, everybody plays a part. You know what I mean? It's not just one individual. Everybody plays a part. And I've been like that too since I was coaching at Watkins Mill. I don't know if you know about the schools in Montgomery County, but it was like the same thing. You know, those kids. I was like you. I'm a hugger. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure that you embrace and you feel this love, this energy that I'm giving to you. So I would do that. Of course, you know, you got to be smart, because certain kids, or just even the school system itself, you know what I'm saying? People perception. A lot of people perception think is reality. And I was at a high school. So, you know, I already look like I'm a high school student, but let me stop. But yeah, so little things like that. But I was a big believer, and I'm just like you, and just giving them some love, because like what they were going to, their environment at home, you know, it wasn't healthy. So, I mean, I definitely support everything that you're doing for the youth and in the community, and can keep doing what you're doing, because it's needed. It's definitely needed.
Thanks, Mom. But my hope for the future for young people in Baltimore City, I hope that more young people recognize that therapy is okay. One thing that I recognized when I was looking for a grief therapist was there weren't many grief therapists in Baltimore City. And for a city that has, unfortunately, over 360 homicides a year, there needs to be more grief therapy. We've normalized so many things in society that our young people don't realize it's trauma. And they carry that weight to school. They carry that weight daily. It's not normal to see one of your classmates be gunned down. It's not normal to lose a classmate or a friend in elementary or middle school. None of that is normal. I mean, we've normalized it so much, and we don't take the opportunity to really address it with a therapist. So my hope is that they recognize that therapy is okay. Talking to someone is okay. Recognizing that your teachers and the staff at your school are not against you. They do get burnt out because they're human. Yeah. But if there's an opportunity to help your family heal and bring closure to a situation, that is my hope, that they recognize that there is a village. Even if it's one person at the school or the church or the community center or whatever, the neighbor, somebody cares. Somebody cares enough to listen to you. I've had people look at me like I am crazy. I will stop at the corner store some days before school, before I would go to the building, and why are you in here? It's 8 something in the morning. Why are you not at school? Or I had to leave out and go to a meeting, and I would stop somewhere, and I see some young person in the store. Why are you in here? Why are you not at school? I'm going to school now. I'm going to school now. What's your name? What's your name? Because I'm going to school to make sure you're really going there. I'm getting ready to go now. Like, some of them, my sister tells me all the time, she was like, you going to get beat up one day. I said, you have to recognize that some of these young people want somebody to care. They want somebody to hold them accountable. Some of them go home to themselves. They do their homework to themselves. They're raising their siblings by themselves. And they get up and repeat. And parents don't come home because they're at work, or they're with a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or they're doing whatever else. And so they're literally home, and they want somebody that's going to hold them accountable or care about what they're doing. I ain't had a kid cussing me off for asking them why they're not in school yet. I'm getting there. No. What's your name? Some talking about the school today. No, I'm okay. One rode off on his bike so quick. Like, for some of them, they just want to know that somebody cares. It doesn't have to be somebody that they know, because I ain't know these kids from Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
You know them at all. But like, I want our young people to know that you do have people in your neighborhood, your schools, your church, your community that care.
Definitely.
And you just need to just find who your safe person is and talk to them. My kids talk to me all the time. I just be like, hell, I don't know where this conversation getting ready to go. One of my favorite kids in the whole wide world, when I first started working at schools in Baltimore, never forget, he walked up to me in the 7th grade and was like, Miss Jones, I think my girlfriend pregnant. I said, hold up, I've been working at the school for a week now. What's your name, son? What's going on? He came back like a week or so later and was like, she's not pregnant, Miss Jones. Okay, wonderful. What is your name? Now, I know this kid's name now.
Yeah.
He's getting ready to graduate college now. But ooh, that was scary. I was like, what? I didn't know why he felt safe to talk to me. And I just started at the school, literally like a week.
Yeah.
I don't know why he knew my name, because it's 1,000 of y'all. And I don't know how y'all remember me, but I'll be struggling. Everybody is baby at the school. For the first year, everybody is baby. Hey.
Yeah, that's me.
Hey, baby. But I remember our conversations. I mean, I remember your name. Some of y'all names is real talented. But for some of them, it's just trying to find that safe person at school that's like, I can talk to them. And to this day, that baby talk to me all the time. FaceTime me when he in Mexico and everything. Look at the beach. I ain't never seen nothing so pretty. They just want somebody that they want to share their joy with, their ups and their downs. And sometimes they don't get that at home. So they're just looking for love somewhere. So I really just want these young people to know that somebody loves them.
Yeah.
Not the streets.
Not the streets. Definitely. What last thing could you leave for the parents that are going through, our angel parents that are going through something? What last words of encouragement or just resources or anything that they can use to get through these trying times?
Allow yourself whatever time you need to grieve. I did the same thing. Like, I put a limit on how long I think I should grieve. The last miscarriage, I was like, all right, that's enough. Let's get back to work. Can't sit here like this all, like you can't sit here that long. Don't rush that process. Everybody's process looks different. Can support your partner in recognizing that we do grieve differently. Ask them, how can you be there for them? If you know someone else that has lost and you're on here and you're listening and you're like, oh, I haven't experienced it, but I know someone that has, ask them if they ate today. No, because that would have helped. Somebody asked me, did I eat? Because I didn't eat for a while. As my shirt says, it's okay to tell people to mind their own uterus. When they ask you, like, when you going to have kids? When you going to have some more kids? When you going to try again? Y'all got married. Y'all ain't got no kids yet. Why you ain't get that man no kids yet? Like, you don't beat yourself up on your timeline, because it's your timeline. It's not anyone else's. And therapy can be helpful. Don't be like me and go to therapy and not talk, though. I think I wasted the
point. You got to talk, girl.
I was like the first 6 sessions. I didn't say almost anything. And then the 7th session, I went off. Right. I went off. I was like, I just feel like this is a waste of time. Every time we come on, you ask me, what do I want to talk about? Or what did I think about our last session? I didn't have nothing to think about because we didn't talk about nothing. She said, this is the most you've ever said. I said, ooh, it's me. So So if you're gonna go to therapy, talk, be vulnerable, and just let it come out. If you need to cry, just cry. Cry, hell, cry. Like that. That's probably the biggest advice I can give you is just cry. Yeah. Cry it out. Get your partner, put your partner together, cry. If they need to, she needs to, get it out. But get it out in a healthy way. Find an outlet, but a healthy outlet. Find something that you all can do together or individually. For me, I feel like journaling helps because it gets it out on paper. You can ball that paper up and nobody has to read it ever. I am not a person that pushes my book sales at all. Clearly, I have had people reach out to me like, "Hey, one of my friends just had a miscarriage. Want to buy them your book?" They just had a miscarriage when, like yesterday. Trust and believe me, she ain't ready to talk or write or journal about nothing. She is still trying to process.
Yeah,
that book is going to be a sale for me, but a waste of time. And it may not be received well because it's so fast. Just be there, be supportive, and just love on your partner, love on yourself. Find a way to just forgive yourself and recognize that it's not your fault. Tell people to mind their own uterus if they ask you when you're going to have kids and they don't know that you miscarried. And don't be afraid to get testing to find out. This is the advice for myself.
No, you good. First of all, can I get that sweater? Can I get one of them sweaters? Or I gotta make it.
Graphic designer.
So do I need to make that, or you gonna be selling it to me? I need to know. We need to make a transaction real quick.
I gotta find a new vendor because the one I have.
Oh Lord, we'll find one.
I took all my shirts off my website.
A word?
All of them. Everything. I didn't like the quality. I took it all down.
Got you. Well, you gotta push some more stuff out like that. I think a lot of people will rock that shirt or sweater. So definitely.
It's my Scrabble board.
I like that.
Thanks,
well, tell people how they can find you on social media, all your social media platforms, how they can support you through the book or when you put out merch, and then get information how they can help out in the community. You're constantly out there doing a community service, which by the way, there's a community service on Sunday. I'm gonna let you know about it. It might be in Baltimore, so I'll text you offline. But tell them how they can support you and your movement.
So website carryingitall.com. Oh wait, hold on. Hold on, Jesus. Wait, where am I? Okay, that's it.
Right there.
So carryingitall.com.
Oh, I got it. There you go.
Is how you can purchase the book, how you purchase merchandise when it's back up. My Instagram, I don't really use my Instagram as much. I'm horrible.
It's okay.
It's a lot. It's a lot to manage a business Instagram. It's a lot. Like you got to make sure the content makes sense and
posting on the regular. Yeah,
I got stuff. They don't need post on nothing on the regular.
It's crazy. It's
a lot. I'm gonna have Nene, as y'all call her. I call her Superstar, but I'm gonna have Nene be my content manager for social media. But on Instagram, it's carrying.it.all. Facebook is just Andrea Jones, just regular schmegular me. Community efforts, you can message me on Facebook. My email address is very long, so I'm not even gonna do that to y'all. Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, sis, for coming on and talking to us about your experience and what you endured through your process of miscarriage. And we just want to encourage those that are out there, those angel parents, that there is help, that you are supported, that there is a community, and there's other ways to kind of go about that process. Definitely go ahead.
Facebook group.
Facebook.
There's a Facebook group that has been very helpful. Called Sisters in Loss.
Okay.
And the moderator is Erica McAfee. I think that might be how you pronounce it. I'm probably saying it wrong.
If you find it, just put it in the comments below because I still got to say my little hydration and then I can just put it up there at the end so they can go ahead and find it. But thank you so much, sis, for coming on today and talking to us. Guys, make sure y'all go ahead and support. You have a good evening. I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow because I saw an email about your girl, so we got to talk about that. All right, sis, have a good evening. Love you, girl.
Love you.
All right. All right, guys, that was the beautiful Andrea Jones, and she was talking to us about her book and her experience to help those angel parents that are going out there. So I pray that her testimony and the resources that she provided will be able to help you through your journey, because this is it's tough. It's tough to lose one. I personally don't have any kids, but I know on a regular basis I constantly get the questions of, when you're going to settle down, when are you going to have a child, all these type of questions. And God willing, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I've came to that conclusion in that point in my life that, whatever God has for me, it is for me. So just remember, just be cognizant on how you approach women and wondering, when they're going to have a kid, pull them to the side, talk to them if they want to be talked to about that. So that is one thing. I thank her for coming on and talking to us about that. That's little sis right there. But the hydration for the week, it is titled Express Yourself. And the reason this title is important to me is because I want us to be a little bit more vulnerable and open to talking about our emotions and feelings. And it's very fitting for today. The truth of the matter is most of us, if not all of us, carry around unexpressed emotions. These emotions have been trapped in our bodies, enabling us from healing. Some of the pain has blocked our hearts from giving or receiving love. We can develop anxiety, depression. Our sleep can be off and digestive issues because of it. I can attest to this. When I was a child, there was some things called butt whooping. A lot of you young kids don't know much about it, but with that butt whooping, it was either a belt, a switch, or anything that my mother could grab in her reach. But during that butt whooping process, I told myself that I never wanted to cry. At the age of 5, I thought I didn't want to seem weak. When I was a teenager, in my teenage years, I didn't want to seem vulnerable. And now in my young adult days, I view it as an emotional release. So as you can see, time has changed. Emotional release can and will help your body heal. I've read that true healing occurs when your body and your mind integrate. So if you need to scream, grab a pillow and scream as loud as you can. Make sure if you cry, go ahead and cry with that ugly face. It's okay, boo-boo. Let the nose run a little bit, let the eyes, it's okay. It happens. We're going to release. Make sure you dance, sing, whatever it is that you need to feel or do to get it out of your system. Don't suppress it. Keep moving forward. For the first time in a while, I cried last night, and it felt good to share that moment with someone special. To be able to trust them and knowing that they respect my feelings and help me through my emotional release. So practice your emotional release for the rest of the week and throughout life. I challenge you today to do that and share that message with someone else. Make sure that you inspire and empower someone. I was waiting for sis to throw it up here, but we'll get that information for you later. But make sure you go ahead and check her out, Andrea Jones, on Facebook, caringitall.com. And if you guys have any questions, of course, go ahead and DM me all the time with some information and update. Next week, we get into February. That's my birthday month. So you already know how I'm about to act brand new, Aquarius season. And we're going to have a young man come on and he's going to talk to us about police reform and organization out in Montgomery County. So I'm excited to hear about these young kids and what they have going on. So make sure you tune in next week. And as you know, peace and blessings. I love you guys. Faith works. Mwah.